Hey Captain, welcome to Captain Finance, where we empower you to achieve financial independence in 10 years or less by sharing my journey and my thinking process. So let's get started. In this video, we're going to look at the gap. First of all, how deep is your gap? The difference between your income and your expenses. And are yours like mine, where they're inverse? I have more expenses than I have income. If they are, don't worry, I'll show you exactly how you're going to get out of this position by showing you how I'm getting out of this position. So, typically as human beings, we have only three financial positions that we fall under. You're either in a deficit position, where I personally am, you're in a break-even position, where I'm headed to, or you're in a surplus position, where I eventually want to get to. So in all these positions, you basically have a mission. Each one of them takes a different level of dedication, a different level of acting. So say you're in the first position, which is a deficit position. What do you need to do? You need to sit down with a pen and paper and figure out how your expenses look like. So write them down. If you do not know what your expenses are, do not worry. What you can do is, from this video forward, for the next 30 days, without judging yourself, take a pen and paper, or if you can download the Kakabo app, download it. Sit down every evening just before you have dinner, if you eat dinner, and write down your day's expense. Do not judge yourself how you spent your money. It's just you need to figure out exactly where your money is going. I did this exercise a few months ago and I was very surprised that I spent more in a week than I thought I did. So, second, once you've been able to track your expenses for a given number of time, you can be able to project what you tend to expense. The next thing you need to figure out is where you presently are, however you're presently earning money. Can you increase it? If you cannot, and I'm talking to employees here, if you cannot, and this is a trying time, you cannot get your employer to pay you more with what you know, or with what you're interested in, or with what you're willing to put in time to learn about, how can you make an extra income from it? Realize something, we live in a generation where Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and I guess TikTok now can help you generate an extra income. So for you, with your interests and what excites you, how can you make an extra income? In my case, I love trading. So I've figured out how to make an extra income out of trading. In your case, it might be dancing, it might be baking, it might be telling stories, it might be creating gifts, memes, whichever. The idea is we have so much power in our hands these days that it is unbelievable. And the fact that you're watching such a video means you want to improve your lifestyle, your life, your generational wealth. So you have the power to do this. So what have we said? First, figure out what your expenses are. Most of us don't know. Most of us don't know what our expenses are. We guess, we guesstimate, but we don't have exact figures. And that exact figure is really important for the next step, which is we know what our expenses are. We know what our income is. So our income might be less than our expenses, or it might be more. But the idea is if it's more or if it's break even, your job is to increase this gap and then invest this gap. That is your only job. This is where bonds, stocks, real estate, buying, cash flowing land comes in, chicken, cows, all that. They come in this gap. And your job is to increase this gap and invest the gap so that the gap increases your income and you can be able to maintain whatever lifestyle you want in terms of expenses. That's your only job. That's the only thing we're supposed to be doing. So this is your mission if you accept it. Figure out what your gap position is. Are you in a deficit, break even, or surplus position? And if you're in the first one, which is a deficit, figure out how to quickly get to break even. If it's reducing your expenses, this one I don't tend to agree with too much, but remember it's related to your habits. So you can't start increasing your income if you haven't figured out the habits that got you to spending more than you make. So check out those habits. Check out what is it that is consuming so much of your income. If legit as it is right now, you've reduced your expenses to as little as possible and you still have too much, what's it called, expenses, then you might need to consider, first of all, and quickly, like I did, make more income. Maintain your expenses, but make more income as fast as you can. If you're in a break-even position, at least you're trying out. So what you need to do is figure out, do I need to reduce my expenses? If you like your lifestyle as it is, then all you need to do is figure out, how do I make more? How do I make more money? And whatever your interests are, if it's even watching movies, you can create review YouTube videos, you can create review blogs, you can be a critic, whatever it is, you can figure out how to monetize whatever it is you are interested in. Then finally, if you're in a surplus position, good stuff, you're among the 5% of the people on this app that know how money actually works. Your job is to increase the gap. All you need to do is figure out, okay, I've maintained my expenses as it is. What more can I do? And then your extra mission, however you're generating your money, if you can figure out how to do that without spending more time, that will be the golden sweet spot. The idea is to have an asset, anything that puts money in your pocket, generating cash flow without consuming too much of your time. You can dedicate an hour a day if need be, 2 hours a day if need be, but it's not creating another job. Your goal is not to create another job. Your goal is to create an asset that cash flows. All right. So if you found any value in this, please remember to subscribe, send to your friends, have conversations with this with your loved ones, because the idea of money, especially this year of COVID and crisis and all that, is most important. And I really hope this year has shown you what is important to you, because it has for me. All right, until I see you on the next one, have a brilliant one. Let's go for this financial independence. All right, cheers.